devised around coming into contact with the centre of our spine, and that gives us a sense of our breath as well, and a feeling of connection to something deeper, a deeper place inside us. So it's a fairly short sequence. I just kind of thought we would work in these if you're short on time. So obviously you work in a way that feels right for you, and any instructions that I give are completely overridden by any feelings you have in your body if it doesn't feel quite right. So when we work with the centre of our spine, we're also strengthening the lower back muscles as well as the abdominals, and kind of freeing up the shoulders and the hips. So if we start on our backs, the soles of our feet flat to the floor, and just coming into a place that feels comfortable. You can lift up one hip at a time or roll around a little bit, so especially if it's first thing in the morning or if you're feeling a little bit achy. Never kind of expect or have any expectations of your body, just kind of really feeling into how you are right now. And then if it's okay, placing your hands around the belly or centre of the spine and just having that sense of connection to there. And feeling your breath as it comes in, feeling your breath as it leaves. And notice if you've closed your eyes, and that's okay. Closing your eyes gives us a sense of quietness, a sense of connection to our breathing. And then when you're ready, we're going to continue to breathe as you just draw the right knee in, breathing in. And as you breathe out, lengthen the right leg away, so it's hovering off the floor. Breath comes in, draw the knee back in. As you breathe out, lengthen the right leg away, so it's hovering off the floor. And just carry on. So as you do that, just coming into contact and feeling that connection to the hands that are resting on the centre of the spine. Feeling the weight of your leg, the weight of the ankle. And can you consciously relax the ankle? Can you consciously relax the foot? Because we hold so much tension in our feet and we don't even know that we do. As you do this work with our breath and lengthening the leg away, drawing it back in, notice what's happening with your jaw and your shoulders. Can you consciously relax your shoulders, your jaw? Allow the weight of your head to settle and to release into the floor, because the ground beneath you will support you. And then the next time you lengthen your right leg away, just let it kind of hover off the floor. Make sure you're breathing, breathe as you need to, and just really being aware of the weight of your leg, because we hold that leg all day when we're walking, sitting, standing. We're always having that sense, and the weight of our leg can drag the spine down. So really noticing how heavy that leg is. And as you circle the right ankle, if it's okay, circle your right ankle. Feel that connection from the ankle to the knee to the hip. And if your hands are resting on the abdomen, feeling that connection deep inside there, the muscles inside there will respond. Circle the ankle in the opposite direction. Notice the left foot. Does the left foot also support the weight of that right leg? Then stop circling and draw the right knee in, and notice the relief that you can feel when the aching sensations are just taken away. As you can draw the right knee in, ease the knee down, ease the knee down. Draw your chin slightly down. And is there a possibility of lifting your head? And our heads are heavy, so always go with care. Is there a possibility of lifting the head and drawing the forehead towards the knee? And then carefully let go. Allow the head to replace, allow the shoulders to rest. And then just lightly pushing down into the left foot, just to ease the right knee a little bit closer in. And then let go. Bring the right foot back on the floor, draw the left knee in towards you. Hands can rest on the centre of the spine. Know that you breathe and feeling your breath as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, just lengthen the left leg away so it's hovering off the floor. The in-breath draws the knee back in. The out-breath lengthens the leg away. So just carrying on, coming into contact with the weight of your leg, coordinating the breath with the movement. You're feeling the connection from the heel, through the knee, through the hip, all the way to those muscles deep inside, underneath your hands, deep inside, underneath the abdomen, that connect all the way through to the spine. So a real deeper place inside you, and it's very good for health to come into contact with how this area feels, because often we feel things in our centre, in our abdomen, way before we can intellectualise anything. So if we're nervous, or if we're angry, or if we're anxious, we have churning sensations or butterflies in our tummy. So it's that kind of feelings that give us a sense of how we are. So knowing, coming into contact with the centre of our spine is really beneficial to health. Allowing this area to relax is really beneficial to health, because if we go through life with the muscles or the abdomen always feeling as though it's being churned, then we're not digesting food in a good way, in a healthy way. Hormones aren't being secreted in a healthy way, in a homeostatic way. So just by allowing ourselves to come into contact with our abdomen or with the centre of our spine, we increase well-being. We allow that area to settle. Just by noticing subtle shifts take place. And the next time the left leg lengthens away, just stay there, just so it's hovering off the floor. Your attention is on your abdomen. Make sure you're breathing, but you can feel those muscles there starting to respond and support the weight of your leg. Circle the left ankle a few times one way, then the other way, and you're supporting the weight of your leg. And by doing this, you're working the muscles of the lower back, as well as working the abdominal muscles. You can feel that work taking place. And then stop circling, and then just with relief, ease the knee back in. Allow all those muscles that you've been working to settle. Hands underneath the knee, ease the knee in. And you can circle the left ankle a few times again. Stop. Now if you push down into the right foot, use that purchase down into the right foot to ease the left knee a little bit closer. And if possible, you can lift the head and draw the forehead towards the knee. And then lower. Let go of the foot, or let go of the knee and the foot comes back down. So the knees are still bent. And we're going to do more or less the same kind of movements, but with the arms. So if there's anything going on with your shoulders, just be careful. So first of all, what we're going to do, we're going to place the left hand on the base of the ribs, centre of the spine. We're going to take the right arm up. Now if you reach up through the right arm, underneath your left hand, you're going to feel some kind of response or reaction. So now we're going to stop pushing through the right arm and just allow the weight of the right arm to sink back to the shoulder. The right shoulder rests on the floor. Roll the head from side to side. Make sure you're not tightening your jaw. Now we're going to take the right arm on the floor above our head. Now if you stretch the arm away, you're going to feel the ribs lift, and there's a stretch takes place, obviously. So now we're going to stop stretching as though someone's above you, pushing the arm back into the shoulder. So underneath your left hand, it stays quiet. So now we're going to take the right arm up, quiet, quiet ribs, and we're going to take the right arm down to our side. We're going to take the right arm up, quiet, quiet ribs, and we're going to take the arm on the floor above our head. So we're going to move our arm without making a nuisance of the arm, and the ribs are going to stay quiet as you just take the arm up and you take the arm over. And the elbow can be quite soft and the shoulder can be quite wide. So we're not trying to do too much, we're just trying to use these movements to slowly work into releasing tension and allow the area deep inside underneath the ribs to rest, because inside there is our spine. And then when you're ready and the arm comes back down, right arm comes down, just stay there, and we're going to do the same with the left. So the right arm rests on the base of the ribs, left arm comes down by your side. So without changing too much in the ribs, centre of the spine, take the left arm up, the weight of the arm rests down into the shoulders, the ribs stay quiet. Take the left arm on the floor above your head. Make sure you're breathing. The elbow can be quite wide. The elbow doesn't have to come down, just know where you are. You're going to feel a response deep inside the ribs, but we're trying not to stretch. Take the left arm up and back down to your side. So we're trying to find a way of moving the arm and moving the shoulder without making a nuisance of that joint. And we're trying to find that connection from the arm all the way back through to the centre of the spine. And then when you're ready, bring the left arm back down. Now we're going to do that, and we're going to coordinate that with our legs, which is a really good thing anyway for kind of crisscrossing the hemispheres of the brain and neural networks. So it's a good concentration technique as well. And any of you that know me know that lefts and rights has always been a bit of a thing. Right, so we're going to take the left arm up overhead, and as we do that, we're going to lengthen the right leg away so it's hovering off the floor. And then as the arm comes down, the right foot's going to come back onto the floor. As the right arm goes overhead, the left leg is going to lengthen away, so it's hovering off the floor. And then as the arm comes down, the foot's going to come back. And then just carry on. So just opposite leg, opposite arm. And make sure you're breathing, and your attention, especially if your eyes are closed, your attention is on that connection deep inside the centre of the spine, because ultimately that's where this movement comes from. Now if that's enough for you, you stop, or you just carry on with this. If it's very easy, we can just progress it a little bit. So if it's easy, when the arms come down, you're going to draw the knees in towards you. And then we're going to do the same with the knees drawn in. So as the left arm goes overhead, the right leg hovers away. And then as the arm comes down, the knee comes in. And then you just carry on in this way. So your attention is on that feeling in the centre of your spine. So you're kind of crisscrossing through the abdominal areas. And if you close your eyes, make sure you're breathing and just connecting to that movement deep inside the centre of your spine. Feeling that weight of the shoulders and the weight of your hips. And then when you're ready, you stop. And just stop with the knees drawn in. Take the hands on top of the knees or underneath the knees if there's anything going on with your knees. And just ease the knees down. So that will lengthen the muscles in the lower back as well as relax the muscles of the abdominals. And then just rock from side to side, just easing into the muscles either side of the spine. It's a really good massaging movement for the muscles either side of the spine, the back of the body, and then come to centre. And we're just going to allow the arms to come up towards the ceiling and the weight of the arms rest down to the shoulders. We're going to allow the weight of the arms to rest down as you ever so carefully. Just let the knees go to the left, not too far because you want the shoulders to stay just as they are. Bring the knees back up and let the knees drop to the right or go towards the right, and the shoulders stay just as they are. And the elbows can be quite wide. Come back to centre. And just do that a few times. So just easing through the abdominal muscles as well as allowing the shoulders to rest. And then just when you're ready, and you can pause the recording at any time if you like, if you've got a bit of a longer time to practice. But when you're ready, if it's okay, just roll over onto your side and just roll yourself up as though your head is the last part of you that lifts. So you come up to sit, and then we're going to come with the legs in front, and you're just going to lean your hands back and the knees are bent, So shoulders are relaxed and chin can draw slightly down and your gaze is towards your toes if anything, or just beyond your toes. And you're just going to carefully lift up one leg at a time. So still with that sense of what's going on through the centre of your spine, because we know from what we've been practicing already that the weight of the leg is felt deep inside core muscles, postural muscles, central muscles. Now if this is easy for you, you're just lifting up one leg at a time. If this is easy, do the same with the arms like we did when we were sitting. So as the left leg lifts, take the right arm forward, but you're not stretching. And then just carry on, so right leg, left arm. And just see how that is, and make sure that you're breathing. So you're not stretching the arm forward, you're not stretching the leg, you're just lifting, you're coming up. And hopefully you can start to feel that in the centre of your spine. And then when you're ready, maybe you can lift up both legs, maybe you can lift up both arms. But the weight of the shoulders is rested, the weight of the legs or the weight of the knees, if anything, rests down towards the hips. Your spine might feel in a rounded kind of way because you're not trying to stretch, and you make sure that you breathe. Just holding it for as long as seems doable, and then ever so carefully you lower the heels, lean back again. Drop your knees to the right because that will lengthen the abdominal muscles. Come back up and just drop the knees to the other way. Coming up to centre and just rocking the knees from side to side. And then perhaps the next time the knees drop to the left, take the right arm round and just turn to look behind you. So that gives you that stretch, that lengthening through the abdominal muscles, which we've been working. We've been waking up the centre of our spine. And then just come back, the knees drop to the right and the left arm can turn round to look behind you. And just doing that for a few more times, just seeing how that feels in your body. So when you're ready, we can stop in the centre, and just maybe lengthen the legs away and the hands can rest on the thighs. Lift up one hip at a time, just come to settle. So just kind of in a sense realigning ourselves to where we, just a neutral kind of spine. Heels resting on the floor, shoulders resting above. Making sure you're breathing, and then when you're ready we're going to come to stand. So we're going to work with some rotations, just standing, but careful rotations. So if we stand with the feet at least width apart, Focus your gaze, relax the shoulders. Hands can rest on the centre of the spine, and then we're going to ever so carefully, without trying to change too much, we're just going to lift up our right heel. Now if you let yourself sink into the left, then you that's what we don't want to do. So we want to feel as though the hips can come back together, as though the knee can draw in towards the hip, as though from inside underneath the hands we can lift. So we find that sense of connection from the heel below to the right, to the top of the head, the crown of the head. And from inside underneath the ribs, we're going to leave the hips below the level of the waist, we're going to leave alone, as we just turn the upper part of the spine towards the right, come back to centre, turn the upper part of the spine towards the left. But the hips stay facing forward, the knees stay facing forward. Perhaps one more time, turning the underneath the hand, the ribs turn towards the right, towards that front leg, and then we're going to come back and turn away from that bent leg. Come back to centre, lower the heel, and just stop for a few moments, just feeling the echoes or how that feels in your body. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to lift up the left heel, but we're trying not to sink into the right. We're trying not to sink. The hands, if you like, the hands can rest on the back of the body. Because we're three-dimensional, so the hands can rest on the back of the spine, centre of the spine, or the front centre of the spine. So just being aware of your breath, know that you breathe, and then when you're ready, we're going to turn the upper part of the spine away from that left knee towards the right, as though the collarbones can come as far, far away from that left knee as possible. Leave the shoulders alone, leave the hips alone. Come back to centre. Going to turn the upper part of the spine towards the left, towards the front leg, but coming up away from as well. Then come back to centre, and then just carry on to going the other way, coming forward and going towards the left, coming forward, and then just in standing position for a few moments, just kind of resting there. And your feet are still at least width apart, so we're not trying to destabilise ourselves. So we have that sense of connection down through the feet, down through the feet. And then again, let the hands rest on the back of the waist. And as we go forward, even though we're going to send the spine forward, can we feel as though we're coming up into the hands that are resting behind us? So we're moving from the centre of the spine. So even though the top of the head starts to move forward, and the torso or the chest becomes parallel to the floor, where the hands are resting behind you, can you feel as though you're coming up, away from the floor? So the spine might feel as though it's rounded, but we're not collapsing. Soften the knees, and then keeping that sense coming up through the back of the waist. Can you let the hands come to rest on the knees? Now let go of the head. The top of the head, the crown of the head can come to rest or point towards the floor. Imagine there's someone behind you pushing your knees forward, so you come more into the front parts of the feet, but still keep that sense coming up from the centre of the spine, as you maybe perhaps the hands can come towards the floor, and your knees can be quite bent, it's absolutely fine. Shoulders are wide, elbows are wide, and if it's okay, just start to walk the hands a little bit further forward, till the heels come off the floor, till the knees can bend, and you just ease yourself back into child's pose. And you support your head. If the forehead doesn't come onto the floor quite easily, then just let the hands come to rest, or the forehead might come down. And just allow yourself to be supported and rested down into the floor. And breathe. And make sure that you're breathing and feel that connection down through the floor as you just come to the end of the practice. And that whole sense of how you feel right now and how this relatively short little sequence has made you feel. And then when you're ready, just coming up to sit, settling for a few moments, just orientating yourself quite slowly and with care, so working with care, and kind of allowing that sense of care for yourself to continue through the rest of your day, or whatever you have planned for the rest of your time. So thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again. Thank you.